Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 135th episode of Don't Forget the Popcorn. Guys, we are going to be talking about the brand new Fantastic Four First Steps. All right, this is the newest installment of the Fantastic Four franchise. And I know everyone hates this franchise because they have yet to get a movie right. Well, did they get this one right? We'll talk about that here in a second. Today, we're just going to go off the head a little bit. We're not going to go crazy. This will be spoiler free because this is brand spanking new. So, I saw this film yesterday, the early showing, and I must say I went into it with low hopes, even though I was a fan of the cast. I was like, they just have yet to get one right, they still haven't gotten one right. So I was like, we'll see, we'll see. But this movie is directed by Matt Shackman, and I was like, this movie, I don't know, we'll see. But I was dragged to go see it, and you know what? I actually had a great time with this movie. So, talk about it real quick what it's about. So, you got the Fantastic Four. This is the first few years in their heroism. And so it's not quite an origin story, but um, we're not deep into the Fantastic Four group yet. So this is a good way to start it out. And that's kind of how these hero movies have been going this year with Thunderbolts and Superman. These hero movies, they're kind of starting out with pre-established lore, but we're still in the early steps of who these franchises are going to be, because with those ones I just mentioned, it's all brand new. We're getting the Superman's new, Thunderbolts is new, this Fantastic Four is new. So with these hero films, we're kind of starting over. We're cleaning the palette. Everyone's had hero fatigue, so now it's time to start fresh and going back to basics. And with the three movies I mentioned, they all have a little bit of an Avengers Assemble vibe to me, which was, it didn't kick off the MCU, but it was the one that put the MCU in the stratosphere and kind of made it the hottest thing for like 10 years. So we gotta respect that and look at that. These films, are they as good as those early MCU phases or MCU films from the good old days? I won't say that, but I will say I think we're heading in the right direction. I mean, at least if you can't say anything about these films, they are at minimum entertaining, these new ones. Are they some of my favorites of the year? I can't quite say that, even though I did actually have a good time with this one. So, this Fantastic Four movie, these guys are just getting started. They're superheroes, they're super celebrities. Everyone loves them. It's all good. They're great. Well, Reed Richards and Sue Storm get pregnant, and the evil Galactus wants their kid, and they got to save Earth and bargain with Galactus in order to do so. And I mean, let's just talk about the cast. Okay, let's talk about the Fantastic Four. So we got Pedro Pascal playing Mr. Fantastic. Reed Richards, he is absolutely great in this film. I loved his vibe. He felt super dorky and nerdy, and kind of how Reed Richards should feel. And he was great. I love Pedro, and I think he's just stacking his resume up really nice, and he's really on his way to becoming one of our most reliable guys right now. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, she was good. I'm not saying she was the best of them all. Actually, out of the four, I might say she was the weakest, but not because she was bad or anything. Sue Storm was probably just the most regular of these guys, so she kind of had the most regular role. But Vanessa Kirby was great. I like her. She's been great in everything I've seen her in. And Joseph Quinn. Joseph Quinn. How about him, huh? I mean, he kind of shook the world up with Stranger Things, and everybody really liked him in that, as Eddie, and myself included. And then he was in Quiet Place Day One, and now I'm seeing him as Johnny Storm, and he was absolutely incredible. He was probably my favorite character. He was funny. He actually probably had the most to chew on, if anything. Honestly, he was a fun time, and we're gonna be seeing this guy's name a lot. He is gonna be blown up. He's a good actor. Had a good time with him, and Evan Moss Barack as or Backrock, sorry, as Ben Grime. I only really I know he's been in other movies, but I really know him mostly from The Bear, and I loved him in The Bear. And he is great as the thing. Unfortunately, you don't get to see his face a lot, but I believe he is the voice and everything, and he was fun too. All four of these guys had great chemistry, and I think that's what makes this movie work so well. It's very simple. They did not overdo this movie. The plot is simple. The solution is simple. Everything in this movie is dialed down how a nice first story should be, kind of like the Avengers Assemble. Avengers Assemble was a simple flick. These guys teamed up to fight Loki. They beat Loki. The end. It's not that different here, but we get the different personalities and stuff, kind of like we do in the Avengers. And this feels like a good movie leading up to Avengers Doomsday, which I actually am excited for because I think Doctor Doom is one of the coolest villains in the MCU. So this film lays that groundwork, and I think it sets us up for a nice franchise to come. And I think a lot of nice franchises could come out of some of these hero films. It's all been about starting over the last like 2 or 3 years, with everything that's been coming out. And we needed that fresh started over. We needed to cleanse the palate because let's just keep it real. Everyone had hero fatigue, myself included. I was like, even with these releases this year, I didn't really want to see them, but I review movies, so I was like, let's watch them. And I'm pleased with the direction that we're going. Am I super excited? Do I think we're going to be hitting the glory days of Infinity War and stuff like that? No, but I do think there is going to be some nice stuff for the real deep hero fans to have. And I mean, let's keep it real. The hero genre, it's a big part of American movies these days. So it's here to stay and it is what it is. This movie, it's got good action. Like I said, the chemistry is there. It paces really nice. What I liked about this movie, it's short. I think actual runtime is probably about an hour and 45, maybe an hour 50. I felt like I was in and out of the theater, and I think that's a good way to go. We don't need these 2.5, 3 hour hero films, which I'm fine with. I love a long movie, but we don't need that in a hero film. People's attention spans are getting shorter. We can cut out all the garbage, get straight to the meat and potatoes. And I think Fantastic Four has done this better than almost any movie, any hero movie, to come out probably in the last like 4 or 5 years. They cut the fat, they keep it short. It's a fun ride. You're in and out, and it leaves you wanting a little bit more. So I gotta say, I think they did a good job in that aspect. Now, is this movie perfect? Oh, by far, it's not perfect. It's a fun movie. It's a fun time, but it's very shallow and surface level. There's not that much deep to chew on. The emotions aren't that high. I mean, the stakes are pretty high in regards to what it is that they are fighting for, but I mean, nothing feels too monumental. Nothing is too over the top, but I think that works for a first film. This movie, though, am I going to sit here and say it's the best hero movie of all time? No. Is it one of the best hero movies of all time? No. But we finally got the Fantastic Four right. We actually made it a likable, enjoyable Fantastic Four movie that people are actually going to want to watch again. Because, I mean, the last few are just, my God, man, I can't believe they're actually Marvel movies. But Fantastic Four is here, and I believe it's going to be here to stay. Hopefully it makes some decent money, and we get some great installments from these actors in this franchise. So would I suggest going to see the new Fantastic Four in theaters? I would. I would say it's worth your money. If you're a hero fan, absolutely go see it. If you're a Fantastic Four fan, you've been fiending for something good, I think you may enjoy what you are going to see. So, like I said, I'm going to keep this brief. Definitely give Fantastic Four a watch. Now, I am going to give Fantastic Four Although I want to watch it again before I really rate it. Right as it stands right now, I'm going to give the Fantastic Four First Steps a 7.8 out of 10. Guys, thank you so much for watching my Fantastic Four review. Let me know if there's a film or topic you'd like me to review. Like and subscribe if you made it to the end. I really appreciate it. It'll help me out trying to hit 800 subs by the end of summer. Follow me on Letterboxd, Ralph Vader. It is linked below. Guys, we're having fun with reviews over there, putting some funny stuff up. Definitely check that out. I got a podcast with my buddy, The Cutting Room Floor. I'll link that below for more movie content. I will be back next week. And don't forget the popcorn.